So this is Hayfields. On the first Sunday of every month, there's Cars and Coffee. And as you can see on this Sunday in March in Connecticut, or in New York actually, it's packed with cars of all shapes and sizes, mostly modern, but some old cars. Obviously I brought the Grey Goose today, but there's some very interesting cars. Look at this lovely Citroen DS, fantastic, amazingly innovative car with the rising suspension, and it's for sale, I see. Here we have the main parking lot at Hayfields.
Like 3 times. This one's always here.
Starting with an old car, Coronet, Comet. I don't know what this is. Lincoln. As you know, I don't know much about old American cars. Looks like a nicely put together original car. And then a fleet of Porsches, of course. And then just showing you how cars have changed in terms of sizes. Suddenly this miniature car beside this Lucid, look at this Lucid. These things are amazing, like more power than 6 Targas put together. And this beautiful little original 68 Targa with the 912 engine, it's for sale, as you can see. These were legendary in period for leaking during the rain. Great cars, but unfortunately leaked a lot. It's a nice, tidy looking car. Good little car. And then more modern Porsches. Very nice Ferrari over here. Beautiful color combination. I'm not sure what that grape or color is called. With a matching interior. Very nice car. And then more Porsches, of course. And the ultimate driving machine, BMW M4. Nice 308 Ferrari GTS. Alpha Giulia, I think. Flat nose Porsche. And of course an XJS. V12, this one. Very nice car. Nicely put together, nicely presented. Beautiful car. A little different to the one we saw earlier, which was the V12 E-type. So this is a 68 Coronet, and you're the lucky owner, and you are
Ed Fox.
Ed Fox. How are you, Ed? I'm John Monson.
Hi, John.
That's my E-type over there.
Cool.
So we share the old cars here. So how long has this been in your life?
About 3.5 years. It took a year and a half to get it back on the road. I bought it from a guy out in Oregon. He was a body guy, and he had pretty much done
the body
needed, but the engine, the suspension was completely shot.
Right.
The interior too.
And do you have many such cars, or is this
I
your?
have 2 others.
You have 2 others. What do you got else?
Like 2.5. I'm half owner of an investment car, but I have a 68
savings plan.
Yes. Yeah. Unfortunately, I think that the era of the very expensive muscle cars is starting to come to an end.
Well, it doesn't matter. It just depends on when you bought.
Yes, exactly.
So this so it was in color and paint when you got it, or not?
Yeah. Well, yes. He had already painted. It's the original color. It's QQ1. A lot of people think it's B5 blue. It's the predecessor to B5 blue.
Right. Well, I wouldn't think that because I know nothing about Mopar. And you just told me this thing here about the little reflector here.
Yeah, the runner lights. In 1968, the government required that all manufacturers put running lights on sides of the cars, and every single Mopar or Chrysler, Dodge, Plymouth has these chrome ringed.
And that tells you it's a 68.
That tells you 68. It's the only year they did them. After that, they started doing the square plastic ones.
And this dash does not look original.
No, the gauges are Dakota Digital. It's the original housing for the dash. I have the original gauge, which was a big sweeper. But nothing works on it. Eventually, I'll get it fixed, but I just like having gauges that work.
And then the serious trouble starts under the hood here. As in, this definitely doesn't look as though it...
Yes, this is a 426 Hemi.
Right.
This car is a true RT. It was born with a 440 Magnum. And I've still got that 440 Magnum rebuilt.
The original one.
It's numbers matching, with the numbers matching transmission. This is a Gen 2 426 Hemi. It's a crate motor that a buddy of mine built for me.
Yep.
So it looks as it would in 68 if you did a little stuff to your engine. You know,
You've got Willwood brakes, I see.
Well, yeah, stopping is important.
It is, yeah. It's underestimated.
Yeah.
Particularly if you make it go faster.
Yes. The car did, as an option, came with front disc brakes.
Yeah. Ornamental mainly.
Yeah, they weren't
like
great.
the E-types.
Yes. The Willwoods are adequate. I mean, this is a 4,000-pound car.
And it puts out, what do you think?
Horsepower? About 520 at the crank.
At the crank.
It spun about 400 at the rear wheel.
Yeah.
I done it last year. It was about 400.
Beautiful. Well, thanks for showing it to us.
You're welcome.
This is the overflow parking lot, which still has some interesting cars, as you can see. Heavy emphasis on German, of course. Beautiful Audi R8, an S4, M5. A lot of M Sport colors here, as you can see. Honda NSX, lovely car. Acura badging in this one. And then a huge number of Porsches, and then of course some Ferraris. Very elegant, understated. Ferrari, anybody who's ever watched my videos know that I'm not a Ferrari expert, and therefore get confused about the different models, but it's a very elegant looking car. As we walk down here, another 911, and this is certainly one of my favorite all-time cars, the 2 Series 2002 or 1602 with the wonderful M10 engine in it. That was, of course, the basis for the Formula One engines. And as we move up here, we're gonna suddenly see an E-type Jag, and I'm gonna go and talk to the guy who's brought that car here today. So over here, what we have is a 73 Series 3 V12 E-type coupe 2+2. Beautiful car, lightly modified for daily driving reliability. The owner is obviously very happy with this. He's actually a guy who deals in classic cars and one thing or another, and he's in love with this car, and I'm not surprised because it's beautifully done. It's got air conditioning and various things that make it reliable. And of course, as everybody knows, the 2+2 is one of the less desirable ones, but what that means, of course, is it's fantastic value. In terms of bang for your buck. This is one of the great colors, and hopefully he'll come and tell us a little bit more about the car in due course. It's a manual car, not automatic. So it probably has, and he's got a power steering on it. So let's go and talk to him. So let's go and talk to the owner of this car, who is...
I'm Steve Landau.
And what do you do, Steve?
I own the Classic Car Gallery, and I sell vintage cars out of Bridgeport, Connecticut. But this is my own personal car, and I've kind of... My wife said, ex-wife said, I'm not allowed to fall in love with any cars and become emotionally involved, but this one I've become emotionally involved with. So,
how long have you had it?
I've had it about a year, and it's a 72 E-type Jag. It's got an updated motor in it, a 6.1 liter V12.
You did that, or it was done?
It was done for me, but I've been sorting it.
Yeah.
And it's built about 375 horsepower, give or take a little bit. It's about 150 more than stock, and it's just a wonderful running and driving car. Working air conditioning.
Did you have to do anything to the body?
I did. The body was the way it was when I got it, and somebody really spent a lot of money on this car.
And it's pretty unusual in that it has a sunroof.
Yeah.
Factory sunroof.
You know, the factory never made a sunroof one. They made a Webasto thing that you could get for it, and this has it. It's electric and it works perfectly. Though I'm always thinking there are only a certain number of opens and closes in its life, so I don't like to demonstrate them. But it works well, and has a wool headliner in it, and it's just a beautiful car in every way. It drives. I drive fast cars for a living, and this is one of the best driving cars I've ever driven. It's in harmony. You know?
And you're not a purist to the extent that you have the right Phillips head screws
I have the wrong engine.
Yeah,
so I'm
exactly.
not a purist, but
and these things, people used to say, although it wasn't really true, that one of the problems with the V12, certainly in the XJS, was that it would pass everything except a gas station.
It gets awful gas mileage.
Yeah.
Truly awful.
Yeah.
It gets 10 or 11 miles to the gallon, but
Oh gosh,
it probably gets worse.
Yeah, exactly.
But I didn't buy it for its economy.
And the 2+2, of course, as everyone knows, is less desirable.
Absolutely, it's not the one anybody wants, but you know what? I think it's beautiful.
But in terms of bang for your buck, it's amazing.
You know what? A car like this is probably $60,000, whereas a beautiful Series 1 in this kind of condition, you put a 1 in front of that number.
Yeah.
This is a car, a value that's accessible to most people, and you can see around. It's one of the most beautiful cars, and a lot of Porsches out here.
Yeah, exactly.
Only 2 Jaguars at this.
And it's a keeper unless somebody offers you a good deal.
You know what? This one's a keeper. I like this car. If I sell it, I'm just going to have to buy another one. So.
Exactly. Isn't that the point?
So,
all right. Well, thanks for showing it to us.
My pleasure, John. Thank you.
Definitely well worth you coming to visit next time you're in the area.